guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be doing a very small build project that hopefully can help you guys out with the whole having to wear masks and things like that. So I'm going to be showing you how I make an ear saver to keep the pressure off of your ears. Hopefully you guys can build these super simple ones and maybe donate them or build them for yourself and family members in order that the masks stay more comfortable. But before that, I'm going to be talking about the tools that I use most often when I am making things, and also the tools that I have invested in to make a couple processes easier. So one of the first tools I started off with, which was actually a gift from a friend of mine for my birthday, is one of these multi-tools. I actually made my first Mandalorian helmet using just one of these and some floor mat foam. This thing kept it razor sharp, just a really good multi-tool. Invest in a good one. They're not expensive. They're really convenient. The pliers, the saw, the knife, the serrated edge, the screwdrivers in them are all great. So invest in a good pair of, invest in a good multi-tool that will last you a long time. Another thing I use all the time, super glue. I have the Gorilla Glue right here, but I also use the cheap tubs that you can find anywhere and everywhere these days. Just this kind of super glue as well. Another thing I just first started off with is Emery Boards. Emery Boards are great. You can get a huge batch of them for $1, but I'm still on the first ones that I ever bought. Emery Boards you can use to sand things smooth, sand things nicely, and just all in all get things to a good finish to prep for paint. Another thing that I use quite often is one of these long nose pattern markers. So it's got something like this. This can go into a hole and transfer through anything that's at least a hole that big. And it's also got another thick chisel tip on the other side. I use this all the time, along with just a regular Sharpie. For sketching out my designs, I generally use a carpenter's pencil because it has the rulers on it, so I can take measurements, just quick measurements to do that stuff. Another huge tool that I use is the hot glue gun. I have a more temperature controlled hot glue gun, which you can see from right down here. You can set the temperature of how hot the glue gun you want, but any crafting glue gun would work. The ones that aren't temperature controlled, generally they will stay cooler so you don't melt through your foam. Good pair of scissors and a good utility knife. These blades they're cheap, they're not expensive. You can get a 50 pack for I think under $10. So once the blade gets dull after honing and you can't get it sharp anymore, go ahead and toss it and put a new one in. Don't always buy a new utility knife, just buy the blades that go in it. Now one trick I have figured out to keeping scissors honed is you want to fold over some aluminum foil about 5 times and just cut a bunch with that aluminum foil in it. That'll keep your scissor blade honed. Another thing that's very important with my prop making is of course paintbrushes, a variety of paintbrushes. Always get the cheapest kind from Walmart or Amazon depending on the price. Just things when they get too old, toss them, buy a new variety pack and you're good to go. Now let's get into some of the tools that I invested in just to help me out. So one of them is, of course, I have the Cricut Maker that I got from my wife for my birthday. It's great. Cricut Maker really makes a lot of the projects that I do easy. One, decals. I can print a ton of decals fast. I make my own stickers on it. Well, I make my own decals on it, but I send them as stickers to friends, family. And with the Cricut Maker, I also make stencils for glass etching. I've made a few gifts for my wife using the glass etching. I've glassed old bottles to rebrand them, so to speak. And then also with the Cricut, you can make stencils for painting, lettering for your projects. The Cricut Maker has been one of the greatest tools that we've invested in for the projects and the crafts. Another one that I got from my wife is this, the Jimmy DiResta Ice Pick. This is one of the tools I primarily use to inset pieces into large cavities like archaeological find lightsabers. The kyber crystal, since it's one cast, has to be put in using one of the kyber crystal has to be put in using this method. I place it in there, hold it, let the glue take hold, bring it back out. So this has been an invaluable tool when creating those crafts. Another tool that I just stumbled upon for one of my biology classes, I had an anatomy class where we did a lot of dissecting, is one of these dissection kits. Now this kit comes with a lot of different probes. It comes with a scalpel, really detailed tweezers, some scissors. Now these have been very invaluable when trying to do very finicky cuts and putting very tiny pieces in the proper placement. So a dissection kit, they're not expensive. You can get them on Amazon for pretty cheap. They come with multiple blades. It has been an invaluable tool that I invested in. Well, I didn't invest in it, I stumbled across it, and I am so glad that I did, just for the fact of how resourceful that these little tools have been. Another tool that I invested in here is just a paintbrush, just a portable. It's not very expensive. I got a cheaper one to see if I would be any good at it. Eventually I'd like to invest in one that comes with a compressor, maybe like any water or something like that. But this, I don't even know what brand it is. It was, I believe, under $50 on Amazon. But it has been a workhorse in the shop, honestly. I don't use the needle cover on it. I like to flow better without it. So just keep in mind when shopping for things, I tend to look at a lot of reviews before I get it, and this is one of the highest reviewed and also one of the least expensive. Another tool that you guys might have seen before is making the wooden rings. I have a belt sander from Harbor Freight. I got that. I used a honey browser extension to lessen the price on that. It still has the same belts on it, the same belt and the same disc sander, but that has been a great tool when making those rings and also when making other props and prop applications. Another tool that was highly invested in that I got through a gift card for Christmas was a rotary tool. I just got the Wen rotary tool from Home Depot. So this thing has made a lot of carving work a lot easier. Hey Clint, you want to help me, bud? Yeah. He's the shop dog. So the rotary tool, definitely, if you can, invest in it. We might switch up to a Dremel sometime later because they have the removable batteries, so I don't have to worry about the cord. But this thing has been a workhorse in the shop ever since I got it as well. Another great tool has just been a drill with a variety of drill bits. This is how I inset a lot of the posts for various display pieces that I've created. So just drill it in, insert the post, super glue, and you're good to go. Last bit of investing in tools has been a heat gun. Now this heat gun was gotten by my wife for me from Walmart. Now this helps heat, seal, and shape the foam. Sealing it, you use less of those materials and you end up saving some money. Let's say you just want to start out. The things I would suggest in investing in: good quality materials, a good quality multi-tool, metal ruler, something with a straight edge. You can use it to mark your cuts, and you can also hold your blade up against it to make those really straight cuts. Of course, some kind of adhesive, your paints, and that's all you basically really need to get started, to start replicating some things. But once you start establishing and you want to experiment, then you can go up to the commercial hot glue gun, you can go to the heat gun, you can get yourself a belt sander. Now we're going to jump into creating an ear saver. So for that, all you're going to need is some sort of strap material, buttons, just 2 small buttons will do, and some thread. I would say a plastic type thread so you can melt down the ends and it stays a bit more comfortable. Of course, you're going to need a needle and then scissors to cut your thread. But basically, you're going to take the measurement of how you want the strap to lay on the back of your head, cut that strip, attach the buttons on either ends of it, so 1 button there and 1 button here, and then that is what you can hook the elastic bands that would go on your ears from a mask. You hook those on the buttons and it keeps the pressure off your ears. So let's just jump right into that. Now you're going to want to go through these more than just once per hole because this does take a lot of abuse. So I'm going to go through it, wrap it around on the inside here to kind of tighten those up, to go through it again and then wrap it around again. So after you've got that made, you can put it on and you can see that my face is covered. and that these guys right here hold the pressure, and that there's none on my ears right there. A little bit of pressure up on the top, so probably some resituating needs to be done. But all in all, it just does not pull on your ears near as much. So, by here from the nuppfx channel, please remember to stay safe, stay healthy. Go ahead and make these for someone. If you know someone who needs it, make it for yourself to stay safe. As always, there are links down in the description below. They help support the channel and help me keep creating and keep making these things and doing what I do. So please go ahead and check those out. Remember the FX University podcast. There's a link down there as well. And stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.